Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, Part 5, Episode 1 of Refresh Our Memory. May 6, 2022, 8:19 a.m. My sister Susie responds to the message I sent her yesterday. Susie wrote, "Oh my gosh." I wrote, "Yep, and I get it. It rains for the past 4 days. But when do the drains they set in start to work? It's sickening. And I hadn't cried in 9 days out of 7 years. And yesterday I cried. I love you, my sister, and have a good day." I got ready to go clean a friend's house, and when I were done, Carla had planned to take me out for Mother's Day. 4:45 p.m., Carla is at my house. She brought me a bouquet of flowers, and they are very pretty. She bought me a pair of earrings with butterflies on them, and they're very cute. She also took me out to eat, and we did have a good evening. And when we were done, I drove through the cemetery. 6:37 p.m., we arrived at the cemetery, and I drove back to see Wyatt first, although I did look over at Megan as I drove past. Carla and I sat with Wyatt for a little bit, then I pulled around to visit Megan. As I'm pulling up to Megan's area, I start taking pictures. We sat with her for a little bit, and I pull out of the cemetery. Carla and I took a short ride and went back to my house. Madison came in from work about 10 o'clock p.m., and Carla is leaving to go home. And thank you, Carla, for everything. May 7th, 2022. My granddaughter Samantha and her family from Kansas came into the city to visit. The kids wanted to play in the pool, even though it isn't filled yet. They played in it anyway, and I certainly don't mind. Samantha asked, "Nana, can we do Mother's Day over here tomorrow?" I said, "Yes, we can do that. But before you leave tonight, can we set up the big tables and clean up a little bit?" And of course, Samantha and her friend Elise, which also came to get in the pool, cleaned the refrigerator and resurfaced it with contact paper. An old fridge, but still runs great. Knock on wood. Jose, my grandson-in-law, and Elisa's husband set up the tables. The afternoon was great, and the evening too. The kids stayed until about 10:30 p.m., and I'm ready for bed. And thanks, kiddos, for cleaning up. May 8, 2022. Happy Mother's Day. 7:45 a.m., I messaged Summer. I wrote, "Happy Mother's Day. I hope you enjoy the day." Madison and I start the day, and we got things ready for the party. I baked cupcakes and muffin brownies. We set up 2 more small tables and filled the fridge with drinks. 11:23 a.m., Summer responds to my message. She wrote, "Thank you so much. I hope everything is going well for you." I wrote, "So far, no news is good news," is the way I'm looking at it right now. I did send all my proof in 2 weeks ago. This Tuesday was when they received it. And I pray they see it, they fix it, and they let the people know so they can relieve their minds too. And you have an awesome day. 4:30 p.m., Samantha and Jose and the kids came by to help with Elise and her husband Alex, and they also helped. And thank you all. At 6 p.m. the party starts. Now keep in mind, yesterday Samantha had told me, Nana, we are going to play a game like the Dirty Santa game. We have to have a gift to play. I said, oh, all right. I will have an extra gift so I can play too. And I had bought everyone a little something. The mother, that is, I'm going to have them pick a number, and what number they pick is the gift they get. Samantha said, okay, that sounds like fun. And as the people start arriving, eating and swimming and visiting, I let Jose's mom and his grandmother pick their numbers. His sister is also here, so she picked her number too. Shia, my daughter-in-law, and Nicole, my daughter, picked their numbers. Samantha and her friend Elise picked theirs, and I gave each of them their packet with their number on it. And because not all the mothers who were invited didn't come, the mothers here played twice, and we had so much fun. So when it was time to play Samantha's game, a lot of the people went into the house, and I didn't think too much of it. And a little while later, they all came back outside. I asked Madison to hand me my gift on the table inside so I could play the game too. But instead, no one is standing in a circle to pass anything around. They were all lined up in a straight line. Samantha, my granddaughter, hands me a small black and white striped black bag. I look up at her and I said, who do I hand it to? Shia, my daughter-in-law, says, Happy Mother's Day. I said, aren't we playing a game? Shia said again, Happy Mother's Day. I said, Samantha, I thought we were playing a game. Samantha said, Happy Mother's Day, Nana. I said, are we playing your game or what? She said again, Happy Mother's Day. They were laughing and handing me another gift. I asked again, are we playing a game? And they were all laughing, handing me the gifts. The gifts were for me, all of them. Afterwards, and I opened them, and we laughed as I was when I was done. I said, you guys are all brats. And I called them that throughout the evening. And thank you all so much. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all of it. I love you all, and I love the new family members too. 11:36 p.m. when everyone was gone. This day is a blessing. And thank you for all my babies. Thank you, my angels. I love and adore you all. May 9th, 2022. 7 years today. No way. How could it have gone this long? It seems like yesterday, and at times it just seems like a bad dream. I try to stay busy today, catching myself being choked up a few times. 2:47 p.m. I'm outside cleaning the last minute stuff we didn't get last night, being that it was dark when we were all done. And a thought came to mind. I wonder why I haven't seen the red cardinal yet this spring. I'm then sweeping the patio, and a little bit later I happened to look up and I saw the red bird. And I'm so happy. I grabbed my phone and I took a couple pictures of her on the fence. Then I videoed the bird on the cement picking up a piece of food with her beak. I said, I love you, Megan, as she flew away. I couldn't believe it. I'm at an awe kind of moment. Later this evening, I did break down. I cry and I pray. Then I thought about how I saw the red bird, the cardinal, and it brought good thoughts to mind. And I had to stop crying. I had to. And I know I have to stay positive. I have to keep in mind God and my angels has this. May 10th, 2022. 2 weeks today, the Oklahoma Attorney General had received my case packet. It's a calm day today, and I'm still thinking the worst, but hoping for the best. God be with me, with us. I relaxed most of the afternoon, and I guess I needed to. 5:12 p.m., I asked Madison to look for the tracking number of the case file that was sent to the Attorney General's office. Madison looked, and it was delivered and signed for on Tuesday, April 26, 2022, at 10 a.m., and I'm happy to know this. 5:26 p.m., I pull into the cemetery. I guess I just needed to go today. Madison went with me, and at 5:28 p.m., I pull up to Wyatt. We visit with him, and then I pull around to visit Megan. As I get close to Megan's area, I start taking pictures. There is water still laying on the ground, and I took more than enough pictures. After I talked with Megan, I prayed to my angels, and I left the cemetery. Madison and I went home. I'm now sitting on the patio for a few minutes. Then I walked inside to answer my phone. I sat down in a chair in the family room, and I happened to look out the sliding glass window, and I saw the cardinal flying from one side of the patio to the other side. I quietly walked over to the window with my phone in hand and watched to see where it flew to. I saw it on the fence. I took a couple pictures and watched it as it flew into the trees. Thank you, Megan. May 11th, 2022. Good thoughts. I'm staying busy until this evening. My grandson graduates from high school. I'm so proud of him. It starts at 6 p.m., and I can't wait to see him accept his diploma. As the afternoon turns to evening hours, Madison is off work to go to the graduation, and as we arrive, we see my son and his family, and I took a lot of pictures. I videoed most of it, and I did get a video of my grandson walking on stage, and he waved at everyone. He's so proud of himself, as we all are of him. It's a good evening, and thank you. Okay, now, I need to share this with everyone. All week this week, every time I see the mailman, I pray I do not get a bad letter. Like this morning when the mail was dropped in the box, I went to get it and I saw I had nothing from the Attorney General's office. And I thanked God. I want them to be going over everything with a fine-tooth comb. I really do. So the longer it takes them, I think it's better off for us. Everyone have a good night. May 12th, 2022. I thank God again for not sending any responses yet. Madison is at work all day, so I took advantage of the quiet and I laid in the hammock most of the evening. And thank you for this day. May 13th, 2022. Happy Friday the 13th. I pray all is well and safe, no bad feelings for anyone, no bad karma for anyone. Madison has tickets to a soccer game this evening, so I'm looking forward to going to that. We had other things this morning to do. We had to drive about 35 minutes away, but we got there safely and back home. I'm also grateful when things run so smoothly to get it done. Madison went to wash her car, and I stayed home to answer phone calls and calls I had to get returned to people. After I was done, I start cooking so we could eat dinner before we go to the game. Madison got back home. We ate. When we were done, we went to the cemetery. 4:32 p.m. Madison pulls up to Megan first. I'm on the passenger side, so it's easier to take the pictures from this side of the car. I took pictures. We sat and talked with her for a little while, and Madison drove on. She pulled up to the back side of Wyatt and slowly rolled past as she looked over at him. Madison pulls around to the front side of Wyatt, and we sat with him for a little while. And there's no one here today. I mentioned to Madison, it looks like they mowed the grass, but I haven't seen too many people out here lately. Madison said, not the past few times, huh? I said, mm-hmm, and we left it alone, although I had my thoughts. When we were done at the cemetery, Madison dropped me off at home to get ready, and she had to go to the store. While she was gone, I'm getting ready, and at 7:17 p.m., Madison and I left for the game, a boys' soccer team state championship. They won 5-1, and it was a good time. And thank you, Madison. May 14th, 2022. Waking up this morning, I feel rested. I got up thanking God. I ate breakfast and have errands to run this morning. I have that done, and I'm able to get home to do something other than being outside because it is hot. I start typing. I'm caught up from yesterday and today, so I sit down and a thought came to mind. I feel at peace since I have sent that file to the Attorney General's office. I even thought it's playing out just how it's supposed to. And I believe this time, all this time that has passed, was to build me to be stronger, to give me time to adjust to what will happen in the end. I know God is with me. He brought me here. 4:00 p.m., Madison came in from work for lunch. I'm visiting with her, then I'm going to get busy doing what needs to be done. 5:36 p.m., I had talked to Patty, and she had offered if I typed up the events, times, and dates, that she would write a legal brief. She said, I don't want the feelings, I just want the matter. She had offered the other day when I talked with her, and I thought, that's nice of her to offer. Then I thought, okay. And in my heart, I had intentions of working on that this weekend. Well, I didn't get to it last night because I went to the soccer game. But this afternoon, while Madison is at work, I will work on that timeline without the feelings in it. 5:36 p.m., I turn on my computer to go back to part 1 of the timeline. I start writing down the dates and times of events, and some conversations also. I worked and worked all evening, and at 9:41 p.m., I got to the part of the meeting on May 13th, 2019 at the City Hall, and I put it down for the night. I stopped writing. I put the pen down and straightened the papers together and stacked them on top of a big stack of papers. I'd been writing all evening. May 15th, 2022. I've been feeling really good the past couple weeks. Tuesday of this week will be the third week that they have had the case file. The morning is calm. I spent the early afternoon to myself. Madison had to work, so I stayed home to clean. I did get a lot done. I even sat on the patio for a little while this afternoon. 5:59 p.m. Susie, my sister, messages. She wrote, "Have you heard anything about the cemetery?" I said no. Tuesday will be the third week they've had it. She said, "It's a no news is good news thing, huh?" I said, "That's what I've been saying." Susie said, "Let's hope they will come to their senses and admit they were wrong, and let's fix it and let you move on." I said, "I hope that too, sister." Susie even mentions when she visited Oklahoma in 2013, she said, "I remember there was only one tree, and Megan's headstone was behind that tree." I said, "Yes, because in 2013 the headstones were still where they were supposed to be." Susie said, "Right." I said, "I just hope they own up to it and fix it, and let's be done with it already." And Susie agreed. I said, "Patty offered to write a legal brief." Susie said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yes, I'm a little bit more than halfway through it, but I will try to get it done as fast as I can. And I don't know how to write a legal brief, so if she wants to do it, she can, and I will let her. I have to go back from the beginning and just get the times, dates, and events, not any of my feelings about any of it." She said, "Yeah, that makes sense. They will see later your feelings. You can keep your personal feelings for the book." I said, "Yeah, it's not a chapter opening, it's a chapter closing, getting closure." Then we talked about other things other than the case. When Madison came in from work, Susie and I let each other go. May 16th, 2022, 9:53 a.m. I went to the mailbox. I heard the postmaster open and close the box, so I'm curious. A few minutes later, I walked to the porch and opened the box, and I had a bill and a letter from someone else. 10:22 a.m. My brother John calls. I couldn't answer, so I had to call him back. When I called him back just a few minutes later, he asked, "Have you heard anything?" I said, "That must be the question for the past couple days. It seems like everyone is asking that same question." He said, "Really?" I said, "I haven't heard anything from anyone yet." Not a word. John said, "Wow. I thought maybe you would have heard something." I said, "No, and I'm looking at it like no news is good news." John said, "Sis, when it comes to the cemetery, it will all be all right." I said, "I hope so." He said, "It will be. Those people need to be honest." I said, "Yeah, I know they do. I just hope they do the right thing." He said, "Me too, sis. They will." I said, "Thank you, John." He's quiet. Then we talked of other stuff. Then we hung up. I spent time outside and I enjoy the quietness. May 17th, 2022. This morning is calm. It's an easy one. No word today either. 3 weeks today. I feel a need to go to the cemetery for some reason, but we will go tomorrow. I don't want to feel the need. May 18th, 2022. This morning, getting up, I thank God for opening my eyes. The first thing I did was check the mailbox. Nothing. No response yet. 12:08 p.m. Madison and I left for the cemetery, and as I drove over, I'm driving behind a funeral. And as we approached a street, I told Madison, I think they are going to Megan and Wyatt Cemetery. Madison said, they may go to the one on 104th Street. I said, oh yeah, they could be. But as we drove on to 104th, the light is green and the cars kept on straight. We knew then they are going to Baby's Cemetery. And as we got closer, I said to Madison, they are going to our Angels Cemetery. So I think I will drive on and we can come out later or tomorrow. Madison said, we can go for lunch if you will bring me a plate. I said, okay, yeah, we can do that. Madison said, let's wait and see, then we will go, if we can. I said, all right. I drove home so Madison can go to work by 2 p.m. She left and I spent time outside. It's a nice day, and I haven't heard from anyone today. 5:00 p.m. Madison came in from work for lunch. She only had an hour, so we didn't get to go to the cemetery today, but we will go tomorrow. Madison ate and left to go back to work, and she works until 10 p.m. May 19th, 2022. It's a quiet morning. Madison leaves for work, and I decide to proofread the timeline to start a rough draft of the legal brief. 1:17 p.m. I start working, and I worked most of the afternoon with a couple breaks in between. 2:31 p.m. though, I messaged Jen, my niece. I wrote, good afternoon. I have a question. I'm trying for a week tomorrow to get all times, dates, and conversations out of my timeline, writing it all by hand. Is there any way to get it done quicker, where I can take out the feelings and my thoughts I typed in and take it out? Then when I'm done removing the feelings and thoughts, send that over or have it printed off and send it in paper form in hopes to have it all in contact when it's done. Can I do that, or how could I do it? 2:46 p.m. Madison messaged. She wrote, if you want to come get me, we can go to the cemetery. I wrote, all right, and a few minutes later I left to pick Madison up. We went to the cemetery, and we didn't have a lot of time because Madison is on lunch. 3:18 p.m. I pull up to Wyatt. We could only visit a few minutes, and then I pulled around to see Megan. I took pictures, and Megan's flowers are still here. I told my angels I love you, and I pulled away to leave the cemetery. I took Madison back to work, and I went home to finish proofreading what I started earlier. 6:08 p.m. I worked on proofreading, and when Madison got off work, I quit and went to bed. May 21st, 2022. I thank God this morning for waking me up. Every day when I check the mail and there's nothing in the box as a response, as I've said, no news is good news. And I did work on and off on the proofreading of the timeline. I didn't stay constant with it today. I couldn't. My body aches from sitting there the other day, all day. I want this over soon so the pain will go away. And I pray one day it will be. But I do feel something good coming from the Attorney General's office. I just pray I'm right. Thank you for listening, and stay kind with your words.